sun is high, we're feeling good. In Miami where the spirit's understood. With Bobby Fins top leading the crew. We're gonna show you what these Dolphins do. Fins up high, the crowd's roaring loud. In the city with the blue and aqua proud. Finstanza's here with the play-by-play. We're getting ready, it's game day. Are you ready for some football? Miami Dolphins standing tall. Are you ready for some football? Showtime at the Hard Rock, y'all. From the tailgate to the field of green with the best fans you ever seen. Bobby's got the scoop, hot off the press. In Miami, we roar to impress. Play your stats and pregame chat.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dolphins Jets pregame show on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm your co-host, Finstanza. With me always is Fins Sammy. As usual, Bobby's running late. The guy has to make a living, and he's also an hour behind. And with us is our resident Jets fan, the guy who we banned from all shows except on deck, which I'll be joining him on Wednesday night to preview the baseball playoffs. We're talking about my Blue Jays and my Expos, but my Blue Jays and his Yankees and everyone else. What an end of that season that was. But today we're going to be talking about this barn burner of a Monday night football game between the Miami Dolphins in their rival uniforms and the New York Jets. Russ, Sammy, how you both doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Ready to watch this unbelievable football. Two football teams going at it for sure. But thanks for coming on, for having me. I'm glad I'm coming on. Always fun when Evan's here, even though we both hate each other's teams. I don't really. I literally said it. Like Bobby's like, I hate the Jets. I'm like, I don't care.
Me too.
At the end of the day, like that doesn't mean I don't like you you're a good dude. That's all that matters. It's just sports. You shit talk my team, which happens a lot because I'm a Jets fan. So, I really don't care. Don't take it personal. Just like back and forth. I'm fine with that. Whatever.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Sammy, how you doing?
Doing great. Well, that's good to know. Contrary to report, someone loves you, Evan. That's good news because
Yeah, pretty good. Eh? Yeah, not that many people.
Should started well.
On Saturday, someone even wrote, "I don't watch your other shows if you're the lead because you're too negative on the Dolphins." And what Daniel doesn't realize, and I love Daniel because I appreciate the feedback, I was worse than him 3 years ago. I ran a show for 2 years called the Fins Bandwagon. Like I couldn't get more, but then I kept on feeling like Russ probably sometimes feels about his Jets. Is how many times do you get punched in the mouth before you finally say, "You want to know what? Like." It's time to actually take the blinders off. Like today, I took my glasses off. I'm wearing contacts, and I don't want to wear my glasses. Those road-colored glasses, they have to be taken off, guys. Today, guys, let's just start off. Russ, I don't know if you heard me on some of the shows say this. Up until yesterday, because now prices have gone up because it's now the day of the game. Up until yesterday, if you're in Florida, you could literally buy a ticket for under $15 US to go watch this amazing football game between two superstar franchises with two super talented high draft pick quarterbacks and two staunch top 10 defenses from last year. Like, isn't it amazing how amazing these teams are? Like, they're phenomenal, Russ. Aren't you so proud to watch this football game?
The one guy who's not a Dolphins fan who actually lives in Florida on this show today.
Yeah.
But no, it never crossed my mind to drive to Miami and watch this game. I mean, they were in Tampa. The Jets were in Tampa last week. I'm like, I'm going to go spend $90 plus parking to watch this team play when I can just watch it on TV, which I had fun watching it on TV because they played good, but I also saved $100+ So, it never crossed my mind. But I mean, I know Hard Rock's more packed for a Hurricanes game right now than it is a Dolphins game.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. I know. Oh, the Hurricane. I said this on the previous show. The Hurricanes 2 weeks ago against Florida, average about 125 in the nosebleeds to get a ticket. Today you can walk in for $15 Canadian. It's $18 Canadian. It's amazing. Like Monday Night Football. Like you're the leading into the other game, and you're absolutely between the Bengals and the Broncos, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? It's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, it's great to be with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The show is brought to you by Kingswear. We have a lot to talk about, but let's just talk a little bit, Russ. We'll talk with you first. Talk about what you've seen from your football team so far this season. Your expectations heading into the season with the signing of Justin Fields, the hiring of Aaron Glenn, and the expectations for your team. And then I also want to get, Sammy, your perspective on what you expected from the Jets heading into the season as well.
Well, first off, this is the only I'm the only guy on this network who actually does unbiased stuff, because this is the only time I actually come on where I'm talking about my own team. I will say I get along with Evan because he is negative. I'm a negative sports fan. I bash I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I got my 2009 World Series shirt on because we got October starting tomorrow. I bash my team more than anybody else. I hate them. But expectations, Evan, going in the year, I wasn't expecting much. There's a usually, and you probably have the same feeling. When I go into the year, every year I go in, I'll follow the team. Jets will go like 4-4. I'll be full in, and then they'll break my heart every year. Yeah. After we lose Aaron Rodgers, we still had a chance to make the playoffs with Zach Wilson, and we were 5-2, and then all of a sudden they just collapsed. But my expectations were like 6-7 wins at most. The bad thing, I was like, let's play some competitive football this year. If we can get a quarterback in the draft, I'll take it. But looking at the schedule after these first 3 weeks, it gets severely weaker. Now, I will say, and you probably have the same opinion with McDaniel, is our coach last year was a player's coach. The players loved playing for him, but he didn't hold anybody accountable, and the players could do what he wants. So, like, when I was watching the Jets game last week, they're actually moving the ball in the first half, and I think it's Arian Smith, our rookie wide receiver, he lines up incorrectly, making Olu Fashanu off the ball, so it stalls the drive. He comes off, Aaron Glenn is just ripping him in his face. I'm like, I just like seeing that. Or like in week 1, Xavier Gipson lost that game. I mean, as much as Aaron Rodgers says he loves beating the Jets, so screw that guy. What the hell did the Jets not give Aaron Rodgers in those years? They gave him everything he wanted, and now he hates the Jets because they made him fly 8 hours to get fun. You know, we're going to move on, but it's not my expectations weren't high. It was just I like Aaron Glenn. As you guys probably know, it's nice to have a coach who wants to be there. Aaron Glenn is, started 8 years of his career was in New York.
Former player, important, right?
Yeah, and him coming in saying I got unfinished business after 98 is great, but it was more just the hope of having a coach with good pedigree coming from Dan Campbell, Bill Parcells, putting his stamp of approval there. A guy who's not just a player who goes straight into coaching. Like he went from playing to he wants to get into coaching, and Bill Parcells said, no, you should go scout. He's like, you need to work up to that. So it's just I know they'll probably break my heart, but it's nice finally having a guy who's going to hold players accountable and just have some fire. I love it.
Sammy, when ending into this season, what were your expectations, considering the Jets are obviously one of our biggest rivals? What did you expect them in comparison to the Dolphins and the Aaron Glenn, the signing of Justin Fields, and the another change? Something ironically, they didn't do they did what we wanted last year. They got a new coach and a new quarterback.
and the quarterback a lot of Dolphins fans actually wanted, because there are a lot of Dolphins fans who wanted to trade a first or a second round pick craziness for Justin Fields. Yeah. That craziness or stupid, because no one will trade a first round pick for Justin Fields. Not right now, not 2 years ago, not ever. I'm not saying that he's not a great threat. He beat us a couple of years ago running the ball, and
179 yards to this day. He's the record for rushing by a quarterback in a single game. There's nothing he couldn't do that game.
Absolutely. But having said that, we'll never trade a high draft pick for Justin Fields. That's a fact. I like the Aaron Glenn signing just because of the fact that, when he went to the Jets, the first thing he did, that he knew what he needed to do. He needed to move on for Aaron Rodgers. He knew that the guy was for lack of a better word, kind of toxic. If you want to start, you're not going to start with a detrimental quarterback that basically feels like he can control the franchise better than you can as a head coach. A first-time head coach, so he did the right thing to find a way to move on for Aaron Rodgers. So he started on the right foot. That was a great move for him. You can see the energy in the sideline, the dancing and the moving. That was great. I gotta say, I love that. That's the way. That's the right way. That's the right way of being quirky or being funny without being a dweebo nerd. Wink, wink. But Evan, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But but that's a great start. For me, Justin Fields. He might be a great athlete. He might put 200 yards on the Dolphins and beat the Dolphins tonight by running the ball. But I don't see them as a long-term franchise quarterback for the Jets. But they did what they had to do. They find a way to get a mobile quarterback that basically that's the way the NFL is moving right now. You're gonna see a lot of quarterbacks for now going forward who can find a ways to enter the play, just because finding offensive linemen in recent years, so all 32 teams have been problematic. So you cannot have a statue behind center. You need to find a quarterback who can move, who can improvise, who can make plays when things breaks down, to can throw on the run. That's Justin Fields. He's not the great reader of defenses. He does the great mastermind, but he can for sure stand a play. So that they got on the right foot. So I'm not saying that Justin Fields is a long-term answer for the Jets in any way, but they're well positioned for evaluate a team with a quarterback who actually wants to be there. So if you ask me, they started on the right foot this offseason. That's the good news for the Jets.
Just want to give some breaking news. I didn't want to. This is beyond. I don't think it's never happened in New York. And Russ, you can tell me if it has. Maybe with Mike White, you guys called him like a special name, but there's right now over Hard Rock Stadium.
There's some names I won't say on this podcast.
No, but over Hard Rock Stadium, now, I'm not kidding, an airplane is flying. Help wanted. New GM, new coach, new QB. So it wasn't fire McDaniel, fire Greer. Now it's Tua. Now it's help wanted. There's a help wanted ad flying around the stadium during tailgating. How does that make you feel as a Jets fan, but even as a general sports fan, that there's such a hatred and such a draw? Right now, the team is so down on this head coach and on this GM and now on the QB. Like, I've never to this day have seen that, even all my years. So as an outsider, not biased like me and Sammy might be, what do you think of something like that?
Well, I mean, and I know I hate the Dolphins, but I can be unbiased, and Bobby,
for sure you can. For sure.
100% unbiased. And we spoke this when we used to do the draft show.
Yeah.
When these young quarterbacks get drafted high, they're going to teams that have poor offensive line, and a quarterback is only as good as his offensive line. And we're seeing it now with, both Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, who are both in New York, having success because they have a better offensive line. Sam Darnold, I thought he could have been good, but he didn't have the time. So, like, if you go back to Tua, which I'm a massive college football fan, he was at Alabama. They had five stars all over that line. So, I mean, and he is mobile, but not, Justin Fields mobile. But you need that strong offensive line. So, I mean, and I know I want a quarterback bad. I'm like, give me a quarterback, but give me the right situation. I mean, like, if you're just throwing a young quarterback in there to have a young quarterback because he might be the future, you might kill his confidence. And it took Geno Smith 7 years as a backup before now where he is. So that's what I see. It's like, you got it. The Dolphins prioritize the flashiness. I'm like, yeah, the flashiness. I mean, they got the fastest offense in the NFL, but Tua's got to get them the ball and let them get there. So the offensive line's got to hold them. And that, I mean, it's just not getting it done. I think even though the quarterback is the most important position, offensive line, like we discussed, it's not sexy. It's when you're drafted, if you hit on an offensive line, it's the right pick. Now, it doesn't always work out, but it's the right pick, because quarterback's only good as an offensive line. And, I mean, especially with Tua's history going from college to the pros, injury history.
Well, Sammy, when you hear now that people are laughing and taking pictures of the fact that there's a help wanted ad for these three guys, what's your reaction to it? The fact that our team has literally reached that point where you and I were sort of there for a while, but like people are reaching that point.
Listen, the last time that something like that happened was during the Jeff Ireland days, and I'm gonna be honest, we're not even close to that days. Those days were horrible. The team didn't have that attitude and identity. We have an identity, might not be the right one, might not be the one we want, but we are not in catastrophic mode like the Jeff Ireland days. So I'm not gonna say some fans are overly expressing themselves, because I get the frustration. I'm frustrated too. But if you ask me on week 3, week 4, there were some fans ready week 2 to do something like that. They wanted to express themselves. They were ready to burn the bridges, to burn the boats and the ships, and to try to start rebellion, because they've been frustrated by the way this team has not won a playoff game in 25 years. But it's still week 4. If we lose tonight on national television against the Jets, a division rival, and we go 0-3, I will understand that. But if it started after tonight, but it started 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago. So I get the frustration. But I think there's some fans that basically overexcited just to express themselves with the frustration they have, which is valid. But I'm not gonna give too much color to that. Yeah.
No. By the way, so Ray had a great thing that they're giving out bags today, and then John goes, "Yeah, they're plastic because we can't breathe, right?" But guys, just answer for Jason Sanders. We won't know for another week because we can only bring up our kicker 4 times, and this is the last week, so we'll know by the midweek whether Jason Sanders is ready to come back, or they're going to have to cut somebody to bring him onto the roster full time. Both teams have dropped their inactive. I'll start with the Jets to give a perspective for Russ, and then you can go from there. So sitting out for you guys tonight are Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher, wide receiver Tyler Johnson, defensive back Jarvis Browntree Jr., running back Kine and Wagbu, tackle Esapol, tight end Jalen Lonnie Woods, and defensive lineman Leonard Taylor III. So how do you see this inactives and what you expected, and what you see your defense and offense tonight with these players?
I know Leonard Taylor went down last week. He's a second-year guy out of University of Miami, defensive tackle I really like, but he went down last week. Jermaine Johnson still hasn't, came back from that Achilles. It'll be nice once he comes back. But Tyler Johnson, a little surprised because they are thin at wide receiver. Very surprisingly very thin. So I was a little surprised, but he did have a couple big drops last week. So not surprised there. But, the only guy is Jermaine Johnson, and he won't be back probably till, week 6, week 7, if that.
Let me just ask you. Actually, we'll ask you in a minute. I'll go back. So, Sammy, I'll let you get the reaction to ours. The smallest inactive I've ever seen for the Dolphins. So you have Quinn Ewers, emergency quarterback, no big deal. You have Ethan Bonner, Storm Duck, Taj Washington, Zeke Bigger. So
basically the same as last week, right? And I think
lo and behold, no. The only change.
Yeah.
Darren Waller. So let's talk about that first. We'll get perspective. So, Sammy, how excited are you to see Darren Waller? And then Russ will answer. What was your reaction when the Dolphins signed Darren Waller? And what are your expectations were when the Dolphins signed him? Like, what the heck? So, Sammy, are you excited to see Darren Waller?
When they signed him or right now? I want to concentrate right now. Because
right now.
I'm actually surprised because, to be honest, I didn't expect it to suit up even for one game. I expected to go in the list of the OBJs and the Will Fuller and like I said, the Miami Dolphins retirement, South Florida retirement fund, when they just cash that last check and right into the sunset, because that's what happens every single time that someone comes to the Dolphins for last one season in the recent years. Not like when Thurman Thomas or all the guys retire in Miami. No, recently, if you come to Miami for your last season, you get your paycheck, and you move on. So I'm actually surprised. I don't have huge expectations. I could be even expecting the worst. A missed drop, an injury, a fumble, and an injury, and he's out. So low expectations. So if he gets something good, I'll scream to the mountains and say I was wrong, and I'm very happy that he did his best. But my expectations for him to be honest, after basically missing 2 training camps and 2 years of football, there's nothing to be found. There's nowhere to be found because I have no expectation for that war right now.
And Russ, what was your reaction when we brought him out of retirement? And now that your defense has to face a guy who has been successful in the league. Yes, he's a year or two removed from being with the Giants, but he was a star when he was with the Raiders. I know that's many moons ago. But what's your reaction to having Darren Waller in the lineup and when the Dolphins signed him?
There was no reaction. I kind of laughed. I'm like, bringing this.
You laugh or you chuckle because he's done. It was an evil laugh, like, but you were like.
I mean, it was just like, I'm going to get on and talk some smack to Bobby for sure. Bobby knows it's all fun when I jump in. It's all good fun. But say that again.
We've seen you in the shadows.
Oh, yeah, but it's just like, hey, I'll get my chuckles. I know it. I know. I'm like, you can go at me. I don't care. It's all fun, you know. We're both not very good franchises right now, so. Okay. Yeah, there was no reaction. I was like, the guy's a rapper as your tight end now. So what you should have done, if you remember on the check down who I picked for the Dolphins, you had Tyler Warren.
Oh, Tyler Warren right now is the rookie. The key is Daniel Jones' security blanket all day long. And that's why, by the way, that's why the Giants 2 years ago brought in the Darren Waller, if you remember, right?
Who looks like one of the best tight ends in football. Right?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. He's a Swiss Army knife of a guy. I'll be honest with you. Darren Waller, to me, doesn't move the needle. The reason why he doesn't move the needle for me is because if you remember, and Sammy, I've said this on our first few games, our pregame shows, is that Nick Westbrook-Akine was one of the first guys we signed, talking about getting a big-bodied wide receiver in the red zone, 9+ touchdowns last year. He has 2 receptions, and they're all in the fourth quarter. It's like they have a 6'3" wide receiver, and they don't use him. So when I find that the bigger the player is, the less likely Tua is going to use him. Tua would rather go to Achane, Waddle, and Hill. He doesn't go to Mike Gesicki. He doesn't go to Ollie Gordon. He doesn't go to Nick Westbrook. He didn't go to Odell Beckham. The only one he tried to go to, but that was ridiculous, Chase Claypool. But besides that, we're not going to go.
Don't remind me. I was there. That's the last
game.
That
Buffalo game? Oh,
yes,
my God. Unbelievable.
I'm first off, Q, I'll try to behave. I can't promise anything. He's
behaving himself. Only when Bobby gets here.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, if you go back to when Tua was with Alabama, when he came in that second half, that touchdown pass in the national title game was one of the nicest passes I've seen. But you don't see him do that in Miami anymore. I mean, that was on the money in the guy's lap. I think it was Smith. It might have been Waddle. They had a hell of a wide receiver. But I mean, you don't. Was it Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of them. But I mean, Henry Ruggs, rest in peace, if he ever plays football ever again. But I mean, you don't see him doing it. You don't see him air it out. The guy's got Tua's got a nice arm. You don't never really see him air it out. You see short check downs, slants. I mean, and it probably goes to the offensive line.
Yeah. So we haven't had a chance to talk about this. I talked about on Fins Talk today. We had a great show with Bobby Shows and me and Steve Malloy. We talked about the future of the coaching for the Dolphins and their executive group. But what were your thoughts? Because I walked around the whole show holding my fancy clicker. I don't know if you guys walk around with clickers when you guys do podcasts, because according to Tua, you're not allowed to make any comments about him. We're sitting on the couch eating chips. So a guy who's won an MVP and who has gone to a Super Bowl basically took him to task. And Tua didn't like that. So what are your thoughts, being sports enthusiast, whether it's a Dolphin or not, a player doing what he did?
First off, I never know which one is AI and which one is actually Tua in his interviews because they all remind me of the same. I'm like, did he really just say that? I have no clue. Like after week 1, I was like, he's like, hey, our guys got to get in the weight room and we got to do this. I want to see what time you show up. I'm like, dude, you just played half a quarter of football. Like, what are you gonna do? So I never know with which one is AI and which one's actually him talking, because there's just so many bizarre takes he makes. But what was the question again?
My question is, what is your perspective, number one, on Tua responding that way to a person in the media or to us saying, oh, you think it's easy what I do? But the fact is, you're getting paid. Yes, it's the value. Yes, it's the cap number, but he's getting paid $53 million on the cap to play football. He's making more than Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that he needs to play better, and the fact that he's going back at Cam Newton, what is your perspective on the fact
my
that he's
reaction
coming back?
is my reaction to it? You just need to shut the hell up and not worry. People are always going to talk. We got a bunch of, I'm an idiot. I say some stupid things, but I'm like, you're an NFL player or a professional sports athlete. People are going to criticize you, and they're probably criticizing you for a reason. So, just don't worry. And him, because I know I'm a Yankees fan. Anthony Volpe got trashed and still getting trashed to this day. You got to block it out, and people are going to say things, but you come out the next week and you throw for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. No one's going to say anything. They're going to shut the hell up and eat their words. So just that resonates better than you saying something back to some guy who made a comment.
Well, Sammy, since you say he's the most honest guy you probably have ever met, considering the fact that before the Bills game, he said, I can't do half the things Josh Allen can do. Like, talk about bulletin board material. And now he's talking how your chips and the fact that the people with clickers. What is your perspective on the fact that quiet Tua may be better off than honest Tua? Like, what is going on with this guy? What is he spewing out of his mouth?
For those that are new, I didn't say he's an honest guy, the most honest guy I've ever met. I just said
he's honest. I'm exaggerating. Because he's
honest because you said he was a liar. You called him a liar. That's what happened. You called him a liar, and I said that on the contrary, my friend. The problem is Tua sometimes just can't lie. He just can't get away from himself. And I'm not taking a shot at the media department of the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure they try to do their best. But when you have someone like Tua, you should probably do a little more prepping, if you ask me. By now, if we the fans know the kind of question Omar Kelly or George Shadow, whoever those guys, Chris Perkins, that time every single week they try to poke you into saying things, and basically we know the question they're gonna ask. If I know it, I'm the part of the Miami Dolphins Media Communications Department. They should know by now. They are able to poke the bear into us sometimes. I didn't like the way Tua responded to some things, but a couple of years ago we were complaining that he was too guarded, that he didn't say what he was feeling, and we liked salty Tua. Oh, I like salty Tua. He should be more like that. He should be more spontaneous when he answers the questions. And now he's being spontaneous. He's saying that he doesn't like it, and there's some people whining and complaining about what he's saying. So for me, he can say what I want. I don't agree with him in the way he said it. I would never see Dan Marino saying something like that to someone in the media. But get off my lawn, because I'm not from this generation. It's completely different. So that should be understood by now. And that's the way that's the way kids talk today. It's different. I have not. I'm not gonna age myself here, man. Come on. But it is what it is. I will, if I was Tua, I wish. If I was Tua, I will try to be more careful with what I said. Not what he's thinking. He doesn't have to change the way he's thinking. I get what he's trying to say. It's easier for someone to criticize you, me, the media, Ask Clown, Stephen A. Smith, or whoever those bozos on Get Up a month. This morning was a clown show. I got that ESPN thing with the Hulu and stuff, and they said, I'm going to try to watch because I'm home today. I had an appointment, so I'm home working on Fins TV and stuff. I'm going to try to watch because I usually don't watch. After 10 minutes, I could not watch anymore. Get Up. They're idiots. But you are the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. You cannot get rattled because something like that. On the Cam Newton thing, to be honest, Cam Newton was a former MVP. He went to a Super Bowl. So I don't like a lot of things that Cam Newton says, but I don't think he was out of bounds with what he said. I think it was valid. I think he didn't take a shot at Tua like others have. I think that he did it the right way, and probably Tua fell attack and didn't do the proper diligence of actually seeing what was said and the context. I'm not defending Tua. I'm not apologizing for Tua. Steve Malloy, chill. I'm not apologizing for Tua. I'm just saying that it was on Tua to probably do the due diligence if we're gonna say something like that. But it is what it is. We're making a bigger deal of it. But on hindsight, if you put it, if you said it, now you have to show it. You have to go out there and you need to have a good game, because that's what sometimes Tua says a lot of things. And when that game comes, he puts an egg bigger than the one that the Gobbler Gooper came out. So because I'm afraid every time Tua tries to be confrontational, but because the game afterwards, for me, as long as I remember, at least the way I see it, he doesn't come out well after he says something like that. So I'm sure hope he has a good game, because if not, it's on him.
Well, he's actually more confrontational at the podium than he is on the field. On the field, he's laughing even after he throws an interception. But just to note, similar to before the Patriots game, where Tua was undefeated against the Patriots, Tua is 5-0 in his career against the Jets, and he's has like a 72% completion percentage. He's never lost to the Jets. When the Jets have beaten us in Tua's career, Tua hasn't been in the lineup. So let's just note that.
Well, Tua's having a record-breaking season because he broke the streak of the Colts not winning an opening game. He broke the streak of the Patriots, and hopefully he won't break the streak of the Jets tonight. But he's on a record-breaking streak.
Yeah.
So, to go off of what Tua said with everybody clicker people walking around their clicker, everybody's got something to say. I had Jabba Chamberlain on my show. He was on the 2009 New York Yankees World Series championship.
I remember him.
Yeah, great player. And we're talking about it. He goes, people have the right to boo me. If I play bad, they have the right to boo me. They have the right to criticize. These people are paying hard money to go watch the game. He's like, I didn't do my job. If I don't do my job, they're booing me. They're on, obviously Twitter wasn't as big or even a thing when he was there. But I mean, like, these people, and to his case, people are spending their hard-earned money to go watch the Dolphins or go watch the Jets. They have the right to do it. And if you're getting booed, if they're saying something, you're probably not doing your job. You're getting $53 million a year. There's some people not even making, $30,000 a year. So, I mean, they have the right to criticize.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here. How interesting is it tonight that the honorary captains for tonight's football game are Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor? And who else is in the building? Mason Taylor. I wonder if he'll be wearing the jersey for part of the game. If he puts on a Jets jersey at any point in that game, or they show him clapping at Mason Taylor, he might get booed. Dolphin fans. He can't.
If that happens, I hope those fans that are in the upper level find a way to cover Jason Taylor's name on just to piss him off.
Exactly.
But, I mean, hey, it is the 25-year anniversary of the greatest Monday Night Football game ever, Monday Night Miracle, baby, where Jason Taylor was taunting Jets fans, laughing at them, saying, "Look at you losers," and then the Jets beat them in overtime. So, and I still watch that game.
They watched that day.
I still watch that. I have it on VHS.
Oh, God. You remember what a VHS is? That's pretty impressive. You're a young tyke.
I'm 34.
You're still a young type. So let's talk about what we'll talk about the offensive soon, but let's talk about what was actually and has been the bread and butter of both teams in the last two seasons, and that's the defense. Right now, our defenses are mediocre at best. We'll talk about the Dolphins after, but let's talk about the Jets defense. The fact that you've had Robert Saleh, and now you have Aaron Glenn, who is a defensive guy, who did very well with the defense with the Lions. What have you seen so far this season from the Jets defense that's been different than the last number of years since Aaron Glenn has taken over? And is it because he hasn't been able to put a system in? Because I don't see it as being as strong as it has been in probably.
No, it's definitely. I will say it's Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes are definitely going to have to do something. The Jets rank 7th worst in the NFL in missed tackles with 44.3% missed tackles this year. And that is a big part of the defense. They are terribly wrapping up and tackling. Sauce Gardner especially. And maybe I should start calling him Ahmad until he can actually wrap up and tackle, because I saw him try to tackle Bucky Irvin and he grabbed his foot and then he went out for the game. So, I mean, but that is our biggest issue is they do not wrap up and tackle. I mean, the amount of missed tackles this Jets team has is insane. The defense looks the same. They're just playing really, really poor. I haven't seen a difference at all from Saleh to now Steve Wilkes. I think Aaron Glenn is trying to have a little less involvement in just defense, where he made his bread and butter, as now he knows he's the head coach, which I really liked when he came in and said, no, I'm not running the defense. I'm running the team. I'm the head coach, which we both know in the past we've had head coaches who want to run that one side of the ball. He goes, no, I'm focused on the whole team. So I appreciate that. But I mean, it's our missed tackles, and they need to start tackling. I think they have the pieces there with their offense, with their D line and their edge rusher with Will Anderson, who I will say, I don't know in my years of watching football I've ever seen a guy hurdle an offensive lineman, get the block, pick it up, and scoop and score, and not use the offensive lineman. I mean, he literally jumped over the offensive line. I mean, an athletic freak. But I mean, it's missed tackles, Finstanza. It's missed tackles. I hope they can figure it out. They just got to wrap up. And I mean, if as poor as the Dolphins have looked in the first 3 weeks, they have a very explosive guys on that offense with Tyreek, with Waddle, with Achane that can, you get loose and they're gone. And so it's been missed tackles. I mean, and I'm not on the board of every NFL fan and every Jets fan that Sauce Gardner is the best deep cornerback in the NFL. My problem is they don't create turnovers, and they don't create turnovers at all.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
0 turnovers this year. 0.
I mean, Sauce might have like one pick in his 3 years.
What team in the NFL? I think one team, I forget which team has 13 already, or 11, something like that.
The Commanders.
Maybe, like something like that. It's crazy.
So, I mean, you got to create a turnover here and there, and they don't create turnovers. And I know Sauce coming out after his first year, they even said, "Hey, go throw at him." The coaches said, "Throw at Sauce Gardner," because yes, he'll knock it down, but he's not going to get a pick. And it's definitely evident when you see him play. He's a lockdown corner, but is he creating turnovers? It hasn't really shown it yet.
Yeah. And so all this will be along. By the way, just an FYI side note, not Dolphins or Jets related, but we'll see after that embarrassment in New York, letting Jackson Dart get his first win. Joe Alt will be out several weeks, so we'll now see how Justin Herbert does without his staunch lineman right there.
2 of them.
Yeah. No Joe Alt. We'll see how he reacts. So, Sammy, since on Friday, Anthony Weaver basically went up to the podium and actually looked at everybody in the eye, unlike our head coach, who does this when he talks, and basically gave his campaign speech to be interim coach and started talking about violence and the accountability factor. What is going on with our defense? Because he talked about tackling last week, a week and a half ago. Jalen Phillips tried to tackle James Cook, and James Cook goes, "Get out of my way." So, what do you expect? What have you obviously we think of the defense thus far, but what did you think of Anthony Weaver's press conference on that day and the perspective that he wants to change things around a little bit? and the way he spoke, like that sounded like a head coach. So, what was your overall perception, and what do you expect from the defense tonight?
I'll tell you what. When Anthony Weaver was named defensive coordinator, I had my reservations because again, he's never been a defensive coordinator before. That sounds familiar. Something like the Dolphins
Dolphins
really
for 25
tend to do that. Yes, and the defense last year started kind of slow, and I got worried. And by the end of the season, the Dolphins had with basically no pass rush because our pass rushers, we kept bringing guys. I think they were a very good defense. My co-host on Face TV Plus that each happen on Thursdays always telling me that that Anthony Weaver is not the problem. That the problem is basically the players that he has to work with. The loss of Calais Campbell is huge because Zach Sealer, the players are young, and Chris Wilkins, those first 2 years of Chris Wilkins were not the best defensive tackles usually. Paul Solia, so many others on the Dolphins. Tim Bowie, so many others. Darrell Gardner, that's those first years as a defensive tackle of the Miami Dolphins usually are not great. By the end of year 2, early year 3, that the defensive tackles. So the Dolphins took a risk of letting Calais Campbell go, and now you can see that they cannot find a way to stop the run to save themselves. That's missing a player. The defensive backfield. We talked so many times during the offseason that the defensive backs were horrendous. They keep losing guys, and they knew what they were getting into, but that's not the fault of the defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator has to basically coach with the players he has. I do not believe they're gonna go to the defensive coordinator and said like they will probably do with Miami, then and say, who do you want? They might ask the suggestions, so they might hear him out, but he doesn't have a say on the personnel. Unless you're one of those defensive coordinators or one head coach, and you basically went a Big Fangio, maybe. And they didn't even ask Big Fangio because Big Fangio went to the media and said he wasn't asked about the players he got. So, they basically don't do that. So I had my reservations last year. He did a competent job. I had I was worried about, but I'll tell you what, listening to that speech, I was ready to walk through a wall for that guy. That guy inspired people. You can see it in a speech. Inspires people. I had my doubts, and after hearing him, that passion, that guy, the way he spoke, the way that guy is a leader of men. And I'm not saying he might be able to be a great defensive coordinator. He might not be, but you can see he has the roots of being a good head coach. So he might end up being a better head coach than defensive coordinator, which is kind of ironic, right? But I thought it was great. The Dolphins, for sure, last week play through the whistle and sometimes after the whistle, like he said, with violence, with poise. I wish they will do that today. I would not mind getting a defensive penalty if it's basically because they play with heart, they playing through the whistle, they playing with passion, and they don't give up. So for me, I thought it was great. I could not commend him more for doing that. And if he's not the Dolphins head coach next season, I don't think he will be. I hope he gets a job somewhere, and I expect him to be a really good head coach.
So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We already have over 217 people watching all across YouTube, Twitter. Just jump on, come to YouTube, bring in your comments. We want to hear from you. Now, we're going to take the next 10, 15 minutes to recap the last hour, and we're going to bring in our special guest for this evening. If he'd like to add himself, because he's allowed to produce, we let him on the show once in a while. Bobby, would you like to join the show?
Oh, man.
Hello. Good.
We're going to move him up here. He's the boss. We'll move him up here. And then I'll go up here. It's all good.
Oh, yes.
I like him tall. So
There you go.
We have to, just for you, we have to put the Jets fan in the basement over there, okay?
That's right, in the corner where
Bobby,
he
welcome to
belongs.
the show.
At least he's not going to get the comments in the face. That's
Bobby,
good
have you
news.
been listening at all?
Bobby's going to not come on right when he saw me. He's like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Almost. I was like, oh, he actually made it? Oh, man. No.
He actually really likes me. Russ really likes me. Because just so you know, I will be, just FYI, you can take a break on Wednesday, Bobby. I will be Wednesday night on deck, previewing, and I will be with Russ whenever he wants me throughout the entire baseball playoffs.
Very good.
There you go.
And I just want to let you know, I know it's not here now, but I do have a little bit of breaking news. But we will have coming up in the month of October some other baseball shows, but a documentary that is going to be coming. We're going to do it on the Fins Talk Sports Network because it actually relates to all of us, even Miami fans, New York fans, everything. And Bobby, I do have already a special guest lined up who is just as big of an Expos fan as I am to be on this show with us to do a pre-show and a post-show related to this documentary. And
there you go.
Being a Braves fan, Russ, we'll get everybody on the show to give a perspective on it because it's not just about, for me, the Montreal Expos. It's not just, it doesn't just cross. It's baseball. It's baseball in general. How that happened can happen to any of us, and the controversy with different ownerships and things like that. It's going to be amazing when it comes out. So I think you want to let people know about that. That'll be coming in a couple of weeks. So Bobby,
yes, sir.
Key thing to start off with. I don't know if you heard about the inactives. Inactives. Everybody's there except Biggers, Taj Washington, Storm Duck, and Ethan Bonner, and then Quinn Ewers is the emergency quarterback. Perspective on that. The fact, I don't know if you saw or got to hear that there's a new sign floating around the stadium.
I did see that.
Today.
I did see that.
Help wanted, new GM, new coach, and now new QB. So now even the fans are hitting there. And then also overall perspective of the game. And overall, we talked about a little bit on Saturday about Weaver because he was talked about. We had a great show on Saturday with Bobby
awesome
Trout
show.
and Steve. It was phenomenal.
Yes.
But overall, bring in Weaver, but overall perspective leading in, and then we're going to move on to the offensive side and then keys to the game. But give your overall perspective on all that for everyone to hear.
Absolutely. Well, first off, forgive me for my delay. It's been a day, but I was working and all that, so the guys are an hour ahead of me. So. I'm an hour behind, but I'm here. But thank God and goodness for Finstanza, for Sammy, and for Russ, who's our resident Jets fan here on the network, and our resident Yankees fan, to come on over and talk some Dolphins Jets football, Monday Night Football, prime time. It doesn't get better than this unless you are the Dolphins and the Jets. You're both 0-3. But something has to give tonight. Someone will get their first win. It's just a matter of who. I see Ray Finkel's in the house. He says, Bobby always comes in to save the show. Well, I appreciate that. Eli, Mike McDaniel's getting fired soon. Who's the Dolphins drafting first overall next draft? My goodness, we're looking ahead. Well, I'll tell you what, the Josh Wingate, Coach Vogel, myself, we're already hard at work, watching film, watching tape, deep diving. Russ knows that because I do talk to Russ about it. He hosts College Blitz.
He knows college football.
He knows the guy. So we are looking at that, and there are some names I would throw out there, but I'm going to hold off just for right now. But first off, hello, Evan. Hello, Sammy. Great to see you, my brother. And Russ, of course, always great to see you, my friend. Now we can't be friends. Now we're enemies. You douche. You wanted to talk trash, my brother. Well, I'm here.
Yeah, let's go.
So anyway, before I got on, my mother and Tabitha, my baby sister, are at the game tonight. They actually got tickets because obviously tickets were cheap. So they actually got some tickets. I think it was like $40 a piece. Yeah. They were able to go, and they got there early. They're in the stadium right now. They went into the they won 2 tickets to the Legends Lounge, and they're hanging out there. They got to meet Mark Duper. They got they got an autograph. They went today in honor for Ralph, who this is the anniversary of his passing today. So they wanted to go. My mother was like, I don't know what we're gonna do that day. And I was like, wait a second, what day is this? And I said, that's Monday Night Football. It's against the Jets. What best way to pay tribute to Ralph is to go to a Jets game on Monday Night Football for the Dolphins. They did, and my mom's been dealing with some issues lately, so I'm happy to see that she's up and about and she is there and she's having a blast. And I got to see Duper on FaceTime, and he's my mom and Ralph got to know him back in the day at a club. So she's like, "Do you remember at this thing?" And he's like, "Oh yes." And so they were having a good convo. So it was pretty cool. And of course, then she couldn't hear me. She kept talking to me, but couldn't respond to my thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang up. I got a show. I got to finish my job and I got to do the show. So, but that's pretty cool. About this game, I guess last week was as well. This is a must-win game for the Miami Dolphins. And I don't know if Russ gave the Jets' perspective of this. I don't know if I would consider this a must-win for the Jets, just because they, obviously Justin Fields is not their QB of the future. They got their head coach. He's 1 year in, and I know they're 0-3, but again, you give me Aaron Glenn over Ben Johnson any day of the week. I hate that he's on the Jets. I hope he goes 0-17 and they fire his ass and it goes to hell. I really do hope that, but more than likely, that's not the case. Russ plays nice. Russ is very good at that. But now that I'm here, he will go at it because we do it all the time.
To everybody who's listening, everybody who talks to me about sports, just because I know so much about sports, especially baseball, I do enjoy talking about my teams too. I mean, the amount of questions I get about other people, I'm like, I know, like baseball related. I'm like, let's talk about my team. And then I say something about mine and the conversation just goes. I'm like, I enjoy talking about my team too.
Yeah.
So Eli, are you a Jets fan? I want to know. Are you a Jets fan? I want to know because he's saying, hey, where's our Jets chant? First of all, I'll do it for you, Eli. I'm a little under the weather, but I'll say it for you. Jets sucks. That's Jets my ass. They suck.
But by the way, I will say, Bobby, if you haven't listened to the show, Sammy will attest to this. The one advantage of you not being here and me hosting on my own is I let other people speak. Because you ask me the questions and then I go crazy. Here, I'm asking everybody else the questions and I haven't said much.
I mean, your Dolphins, you got the fastest offense in the league and the quickest exits from playoff contention every year.
Oh, you had that written down, didn't you? You were prepared for that one. Yeah. Oh, man, forget Jimmy Kimmel. We got Russ Morgan on late night. There you go. I like that.
Minus my ratings would be good if
Well, Eli, it's a Jets life till the next life. There you go. Well, hey, Eli, we appreciate you coming here and joining the show. All jokes aside, man, it's real cool to have you here. No, listen, this is definitely a must win. And I was listening to, I think you guys were talking about Weaver and the way he spoke on that in the press conference, and I was hearing a little bit of what Sammy was saying about, I think that's Weaver is running through a wall for him. That's the type of coach we've been talking about, a guy who is this? Because you're deep, and I get this, because it's fair to say I hear you and I'm loving what I'm hearing from you, but I'm not seeing that on tape. I'm not seeing that on game day. I'm not seeing that from your defense. Now, I think Sammy asked a great question before I hopped on, and that's like, hey, maybe he could be a better head coach than a D coordinator. That's happened before, right? We've had it where guys are like, they're not good coordinator. Why the hell did that guy get a head coaching job? All of a sudden he's, skyrockets. And look, maybe just maybe Anthony Weaver coming from Harbaugh, coming down to McDaniel has had to play it safe, play a little nice, whatever. Now he's finally pissed because he is hearing the noise. He's hearing people going, dude, what's up with this defense? This defense is trash. And he's like, it's not my defense.
He's saving himself.
He's saving himself. That's what it sounds like to me. And guess what I think he's doing is he's interviewing for that opportunity. If McDaniel does let go, thank you, Adrian, brother. I appreciate you. Yes, Ralphie boy, love you.
I need a bear hug.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, Bobby,
no doubt.
Whenever I need to be punished, whenever I'm misbehaving, I go to our media assets and I let my Florida mom yell at me.
There you go.
There you go. That video on me.
Always, yeah, that's right. But no, and I'm with Sammy. He to me, what it sounds like is he's basically, without saying it, is saying, look, if you let this guy go, give me an opportunity, and you'll see some physical football from this team. And so maybe that is the case. And will we see that? Well, it starts tonight, because we've talked about it for a couple weeks now. Oh, if he loses to Buffalo, well, they still lost to Buffalo, but they fought enough to give people a little bit of hope that maybe, just maybe, they could figure this out throughout the season. But if they lose to the Jets tonight, the Miami Dolphins, if they go 0-4, it's going to get louder. Might not happen. The heads might not roll yet, but it's going to grow louder. Now, if you lose to Carolina, then there's gonna be heads rolling, and then we decide, okay, what's going to happen, and more than likely it will be McDaniel, and more than likely, Reaver will, step up and be that guy for at least until the end of the season. Which, again, that gives you the opportunity to, if you're the Dolphins, and for someone like Stephen Ross to say, okay, we plug in Anthony Weaver, or his constituents, we plug in Anthony Weaver, we see what he got. If he's not who we feel is the guy, it's an ugly business. It's an ugly thing, but this answers our Rooney Rule. We don't have to really answer because we're going to interview him anyway at the end of the season. Now we could go interview and whoever we want. I think that's kind of where it's playing out here. But it starts tonight. Before we get there, we got to finish tonight. And when you talk about the inactives, I don't think it matters much. This is Miami's chance, tonight to, you're facing a team. And Russ, you could respond right back. Follow up with me on this, okay? Because I'm going to say, you're facing a team that on paper, when you're looking on paper, now the Jets are no joke when it comes to young talent. Sauce Gardner, Wilson, they got the tackles, whatever. But you're looking on paper and you're going, this is a winnable game for the Dolphins. If you're not looking at records, you're looking at paper of star talent, you're saying Miami should win this game, but not so fast. The Jets are no cakewalk. For those who are predicting a blowout or predicting a win, I say slow it down. There's a lot to go into this here. So, Russ, is it fair? And you could say, yeah, Bobby, it is, or you could, tell me no, it's not, and tell me why this shouldn't be an easy W for the Dolphins when it comes to the Jets.
I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good game. I wouldn't say easy for either team. I mean, the one downside for the Dolphins is their defense. They're both. I mean, the Storm Duck is out, so luckily for them, the Jets don't have the best passing attack, but their rushing defense isn't there. And now you're adding Justin Fields to that equation with Breece Hall, with Braylon Allen. I would love to see Mason Taylor start to get more involved in the offense because we only really have one very good receiver. Eli, man, thank you. Jets till I die. I hope you're doing okay. If you're a normal New York fan today, New York sports fan, because it's usually Jets, Mets, Giants, Yankees. I'm a little different. My dad grew up with Namath and Thurman Munson, so I'm a diehard Yankees fans. But I hope he's doing okay. I will say Mets fans are very passionate fans. I mean, they're Jets fans. They're a little crazy in the head. But I'll be a Jets fan. I'm glad even though it's been tough, I'll be a Jets fan all day over. Thank God I'm not a Giants fan, even though they've won 2 Super Bowls. So I'll take it all day. And like I said on deck, if the Jets whenever we do win a Super Bowl, I'm never shutting up. You're never going to hear me stop talking. So, I mean, I will say at least we've won, the one thing the Dolphins, have in common with the internet is the last time the internet was invented, the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game. So, I mean, if I'm right. So, I mean, I will say that, but it's been a tough 15 years. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for either team. It's a division game. It's always going to be tough. I do like it's at night because I will say playing in Miami at Hard Rock during the day, knowing that I do live in Florida and you're in the sun, it gets taxing. So I do like it being a night
game. Absolutely. Like, if this was a regular Sunday afternoon day of football, it might be a different conversation. But because it is on prime time, because it's under the night lights and not under the sun, that does, ease up the advantage of the Dolphins against the Jets. And again, on primetime, I'll never give a game to Miami in regards of, I'll never say it's easy for Miami to win that game because for whatever reason, when the bright lights are up, it's a tougher day for Miami to answer that call. But Sammy, first off, shout out to Sammy of Fins TV. If you guys love TV production value, great panels, all the above, go check out Fins Sammy on Fins TV and the crew over there. With Sammy, talking to the people you've talked to, you interact with so many different Dolphin fans on both sides of the aisle, whether they're hopium or are just pure, it's the end of the world, where are you standing though on your how comfortable you are with this game? Like, is there any sort of confidence lingering in you? Like, hey, this could be Miami's first victory today.
Well, the problem is that like I say, always seems to be craziness is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And probably it's me that have PTSD because a night game, the Jets, and so many things. The Dolphins in prime time usually fall like a cheap tent. I want to think maybe because it's the sun the sun on the helmet and it's a night game, but now we had the eclipse on the helmet. Maybe we win tonight. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just looking for excuses to win a freaking game because I'm this desperate right now. But it's hard because it's a division matchup. The Dolphins 0-2 the division already by the fourth game. It's a game at home. It's a game they have to win, and the fan base is frustrated. Like I was telling to Evan and Ross before you got here, fans were ready to fly a banner above the stadium by week two. They were ready to have a mutiny by week 2. So it's week 4, and we are 0-3. But after tonight, if we lose a division game to a division rival, it basically is the Jets. The mutiny is on. So and like Evan said, now they included 2 on the mutiny. Now the banners also includes 2 and my daddy and Greer. So like I said on FCB, it's a cluster beep because it is what it is.
It is a
what
cluster
have I been saying for years, Bobby? The three-headed monster. They're tied to the hip all three.
What have you been saying? Fitzstanza's word for the year was Finstanza. Are you saying serenity now all year? Serenity now.
No. If I was a bandwagoner, I'd say serenity now. No, when I say the team sucks, I just say A-Chan sucks. A-Chan's a mid-running back, and I get everyone crazy. That's what I do.
Boy.
I'm getting myself in trouble.
So,
by the way, Bobby, I'm going to be going on Doll's Diaries tomorrow.
I heard.
Also. So, how quickly will I be canceled if I say one bad word about A-Chan on that show?
We chatted already on DM. I told her, you better stand up for her. She was like, you already know it. It's already on. I said, all right, good. But yeah, so there you go.
Evan, please just don't.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Don't. I'm pleading you.
Let it go, bro.
Let But how come when Greg says it? How come when Greg says it, everyone accepts what he tells you? But when I say it, it comes off as blasphemy. Because he was on Fins TV last week. He was on Fins TV with you and Eddie last week, and he specifically said, getting the ball to A-Chan, great player, but you're not utilizing him the way you can to win. You're not winning football games when you're using him. I love Devon A-Chan. Probably my next jersey will have Devon A-Chan on it. But at the same time, I'm my neutral.
I don't know. It's different what you said. What can I say? Just
maybe it's the Canadian in me.
Hey, Evan, come on. I almost get canceled every week. Bobby tells me every week that I'm off the show, and I wear that as a badge of honor. That means I'm doing my job good.
But because while he's supposed to be doing his actual job, which is talk baseball, he'll slight the Dolphins or he'll do something. So that's what I have to say. Listen, I will cancel you. No, I don't do
that. Well, Ross, at least Evan has not told you that you look like Mike McDaniel. That will really piss you off.
Am I selling?
I would never
selling some coke or something, or I'm not
that way.
I'm not an analytic bro. I didn't work in Silicon Valley. I'm from California, but LA.
Yeah, sanity later for sure. Speaking of Dolphins fans,
insanity later. Don't break your computer after this game.
No, but Evan getting upset.
Yeah, that's me.
My mother just sent me a video. She ran into Lisa, Miami Dolphins fan of the year. That's pretty cool. I love that. They just sent me a video. That's really cool. I'm glad that she's doing that, man. That is awesome.
I'm happy for her.
Glass is feeling better too.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. What were you talking? Oh my goodness, I had something on the top of my head here. In regards of
while you think about it,
yes.
Like you said, the fans are basically, they're pissed, they're frustrated. That I don't think many fans have huge expectations. They were expecting the worst, hoping for the best, like we always do. And when the worst is here and an 0-3 spot by the fourth week, they have the right to be mad. But I would ask everybody to, after these games, the Dolphins don't win, you have a right to burn the balls, to burn the chips if you want to.
I had to show my brother that I'm doing a show right now. He keeps calling me. So I'm like, let me just take a picture. This is what I was going to say. Because I know the banner is flying, and this is conversation. Hell, we did first off, it was an awesome show yesterday. We had Bobby Schaus of the Die Bar with us, Evan, Steve, myself. We talked about it. What if Mike McDaniel gets fired? Where do we go from there? Who is the next coach? Or not who is the next coach? What would we want in the next coach for Miami Dolphins? I mean, we talked veteran head coaches. We went from Mike McCarthy, Ron Rivera. We talked about, rookie coaches. We talked about Hank Fraley, the Detroit Lions offensive line and run game coordinator. And my goodness, Bobby went on a roll. I mean, he had like a shoot promo, Evan, right? I mean, he went off. It was a really good, and Evan, of course. If you want great content, have Evan on your channel, on your show. The debate between Bobby and Evan, I felt so good sitting back and being on the other side of it. It was awesome. But
got your popcorn ready, Tommy.
Get your popcorn. Oh my goodness!
By week 15, you'll be in Fins TV.
Well, he's not telling you next season. It's like,
didn't say which season.
I will say,
I just teasing you.
Again, this is a conversation, and it will only get louder with every loss. And again, if Miami loses today, as Sammy's saying, if that does happen, it is to the New York Football Jets, who are also 0-3. It's not like the Jets are 3-1 or whatever. They're 0-3 as well. And so, if Miami does lose, that voice is only getting louder. Now, you do have the little birds chirping out there. You got the Adam Schefters of the world throwing little bits of crumbs out there and saying, well, Stephen Ross wants to be patient with Mike McDaniel. He wants this to play out. He wants to be patient. It's it's being thrown out there. And I know, and again, he goes, well, but if the losing continues and the fans continue to grow angry, maybe just me. I'm not answering my phone, Harrison. I'm busy. I'll call you after the show. It's unless it's like urgent, you could text me and I'll read it. But as you can see, I'm here now. But enjoy the game. What I'll say though is, before I respond to that, let me just ask Sammy and then Evan, and maybe an outsider's opinion of for us, for hearing that from the owner, saying like, hey, I want to, the crumbs from Adam Schefter, and remember, he wants to be patient with this situation with Mike McDaniel. He doesn't want to rush into a decision. Of course, things could change that, but right now, what it's looking like is like, hey, don't think a layoff is coming anytime soon. No matter what's happening out there, we want to be patient with it. Can you actually see? Do you believe what he's selling? Do you believe what's being sold out there to the Adam Schefters of the world right now, Sammy?
If you remember a couple of weeks ago, basically week 2, probably 1, I said that I didn't expect my McDaniel to get fired. I said, and that was the unpopular opinion then, that I said that I didn't believe Stephen Ross will go through firing Mike McDaniel early. That he will probably run or die the whole season with Mike McDaniel, and then after the season, we'll see what happens. So that was my opinion then. And I think that's because that's the kind of guy Stephen Ross is. Stephen Ross has proven to be way too loyal to so many people. He was way too loyal to Mike Banable for a while. He has been probably way too loyal with Chris Greer. And he was the one who asked Mike McDaniel to his house and basically offered him a contract extension. So it's on him. So I truly believe that report is true. And they want that out there because he's going to give Mike McDaniel every chance he can to try to save his job. So I've been consistent on this. It goes with what I believe. So I don't think Stephen Ross wants to embark in another search for a head coach, and if he has to go through a search for a GM, which last time was so rough for him to do, it was not easy. And you remember that the coaching search wasn't easy. And if he got the guys he really wanted, the Dolphins would be probably better off because he went after Sean Payton. He wanted Jim Harbaugh at the time. So if the guys he wanted, he could have gotten, the Dolphins would be better off. But, he usually doesn't get the big fish that he wants.
Evan.
What's the question? Because I go on tangents. Ask me the straight questions, I'll answer.
What's going on?
Okay. again, what Adam Schefter has said about Stephen Ross, that Stephen Ross in the Mike McDaniel situation, that Stephen Ross wants to be patient with Mike McDaniel despite being 0-3 with this situation. I was asking, do you believe what's being sold to the national reporters that Stephen Ross is actually going to be patient with McDaniel? Or maybe, and I'll just say it myself, do you think he's just saying that to save face and there could be a change if they lose the next 2 games?
I don't think it'll be 2 games. I believe that if the Dolphins lose tonight, at home, rivalry night, where the only thing beautiful are the rival uniforms. What's going to happen on the field between these 2 awful franchises with awful owners is nothing short of boring. It's gonna be an awful game. It might be high scoring, but it will not be to the faint of heart. It will be not a classic, beautiful run and gun football game. I believe that he's going to see the signs tonight. Jason Taylor's in the house. Zach Thomas is in the house.
Jets legend Jason Taylor.
Jets legend Jason Taylor. I believe that if he gets embarrassed, if the team loses tonight, I don't think there's any way for him to save face. The fans are spending their hard-earned money more to put out an airplane in the air, putting signs wanting these people gone. I don't think he'll have the fortitude. But the thing is that, remember, Joe Philby, he did after 4 games. They started off 1-3. So it really depends. If they go 0-4, also, I think Ross, back in his head, is being fed a lot of goop about the fact that, hey, look at the NFL right now. The Ravens have 3 losses. There's a lot of teams with 3 losses. There's only 2 undefeated teams left. If the Dolphins win tonight and they could beat and they get back to 500, anything can happen. But I think there's still a small chance teams can still make, but not many teams. I don't think there isn't even a team that 0-4 makes the playoffs in this league. Not going to happen. So this could be the make or break for Mike McDaniel. It's on primetime TV. There's a lot going on. It's a night game. The rival uniforms. It's a marketing nightmare. It's a marketing nightmare if they blow this tonight. So for me, Stephen Ross, I don't think he could suffer through the embarrassment of losing at home to the Jets, 3 division rivals, 0-3 in your division. You'll have no tiebreaker, nothing. You're in trouble. Your season is over. Why would you want to delay the inevitable? Like, just because you paid, it won't cost you more to make Anthony Weaver your head coach. So at this point, just do something. But at least you get to see it's an audition, right? So for me, you have nothing to lose at this point. But no, for me, Roth, I think he's just buying his time. I think he's afraid. Like I told you this on the show, I've had to let people go not very often, but when you do, it hurts. It hurts. It's not fun to do it. When you're the guy who was very involved in hiring this person, who has a young family, yes, he made a lot of money, it changes a lot of your perspective. And I believe he believes that if he fires Mike McDaniel, his entire rebuild was a failure. And that what does he do now? And he has to be treading water. I think he's trying to save face. And like Russ said earlier in the show, Aaron Glenn came in and they ate Aaron Rodgers' contract. Sean Payton came in. They ate Russell Wilson's contract. Delaying the inevitable is only going to delay the chance of you improving in the future. So if they lose tonight, he has to do something. He has no choice.
Russ, your outsider's perspective. Sammy, did you have a follow-up?
I think it's a great point what Evan said about Stephen Ross loves the Dolphins. I've been criticized, but he spent a lot of the Dolphins, but Stephen Ross lost money. So, yeah. And it will be a marketing disaster if they lose tonight after all they've done with the black units, the rivalries units, or whatever, the blue, deep sea blue, whatever units, whatever they want to call them. It will be a marketing disaster, and that hurts. That's somewhere that Garfunkel or those guys in that building, if they lose and they get embarrassed tonight on Monday Night Football, that might be the stadium for sure is gonna be packed with Jets fans because Jets fans travel very well. I've been like 1 or 2 times to Jets games, and they travel really well. You're gonna have a lot of Jets fans, which I think is gonna be cheap. So a lot of just New York fans in South Florida are gonna be a lot of Jets fans in that stadium. And if they fight, they're gonna be hurt, and they get embarrassed tonight, like the marketing, the money, That might be something. So, and I don't think something like last week when they say, "Oh, they play hard." No, you're at home. You have to win. You have to win tonight.
All right, now Russ, your thoughts on that being an outsider's perspective.
Well, first off, I'm watching Monday Night Football in the pregame, and the Dolphins are trying to get pumped up, and who's pumping them up like this is your big leader is Tyreek Hill.
They do it every game. He is the leader.
Tyreek Hill's the guy. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not great leadership on your team. Second,
Exactly.
I don't like McDaniel. What this year 5, year 4, got hired at the same time as Robert Saleh. He's just not the guy. I mean, he might be an offensive guy, but I mean, he was a wide receiver coach, not even a coordinator, a wide receiver coach with the 49ers. I know from experience, restarting a rebuild's not easy, but you got to start somewhere. And I think it's not the best page to take it out of, but I think Woody Johnson has started to realize I got to stop taking such a big role in the organization and making decisions like we see with some owners in the NFL, because that's been in the NFL right now. That's been our problem, where he has a big role in it. Step back, you hire the right guys, like the Jets hired, I can't remember a GM's name, and Aaron Glenn. Let them do the football stuff. That's what they got to do. Go out. Stevie Ross should hire a hiring firm and let them do that. You're the owner. Yes, you got the money, but does that mean you're a football guy who knows the correct guy to hire? I don't know. But I mean, I think you lose this game, the time's up. I think the probably time was up for McDaniel was the start of the year, in the offseason, and just start it over. Because I mean, if you keep on going down this path, I know the jokes. Jets haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, but I'm like, do you want to keep on making the playoffs, get bounced, get a pick 16, 17, make the playoffs, get bounced? I mean, like, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and say, okay, we're gonna rebuild. It's not working. You get the right you get the right guy, one right guy to hit. It could change their whole culture. And I mean, as a Jets fan, I think, and it made me feel good when Bobby said, I love the hire, but I hate it. So, like, I mean, like, I think you just kind of got to bite the bullet and fire him. And like we said, people are paying good money to see this game. People are paying good, hard-earned money that they don't make $53 million a year. To watch this team play, and are they putting out a product like that people would want to see?
No, great points. Now we'll just get into, as we're an hour and 18, about to be 18 minutes in, over 260 people watching from everywhere. Appreciate everyone who is tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you are a Dolphins fan or a Jets fan, as we've seen some pop in here. It looks like Sean Sharp is in the house, another Jets fan in there, it looks like. So appreciate everyone who is tuning in. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, come on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button. Join us, after the game as well. We will be live post game with immediate reaction. No matter our win, lose, or tie, we will be here ready to talk. And
40 tie last night. That's insane. 40.
Yeah, I know it was ridiculous, but we do appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe button. We don't just talk Dolphins. We do talk NFL. We talk college football. We talk baseball, wrestling, basketball. We talk it all here in FTSN. So hit that subscribe button and join us on any show, no matter what type of fan you are. We'd love to have you, and we're very appreciative that you are here. Sean Sharp says, as a Jets fan, I can actually see a 31-22 game for the Fins. There you go. There's a prediction out there right now for Sean. He says the Dolphins winning 31-22. And let's go ahead and get into that. Let's start off first with keys to victory. And Russ, since you are the guest, I give you the floor, but your keys to victory for a Jets victory tonight. And then we'll go ahead and give the keys to victory for a Dolphins victory. So what are your keys to victory for the Jets? And Sean is in the comments, and we had another Jets fan earlier today. What do the Jets have to do in order to get their first win on the season tonight?
Well, I think the biggest key to victory the Jets need is minimizing the missed tackles. I think that's been and I spoke about it before you came on with Sammy and with Evan. They are 7th worst in the NFL in tackle grade, with their tackle grades 44.3 with missed tackles. So they need to minimize that. If they can't tackle people, it's going to be a Dolphins win. Second, they got to capitalize on those offensive opportunities. Miami struggles with run and pass defense. I would like to see Mason Taylor get more involved, but they got to capitalize on that and get pressure onto it. I mean, could be critical for securing a victory. When he has time to go through his progression, he is very accurate. But when he gets pressured, that's when Tua falters and throws interceptions and misfires. I mean, he's got 4 on the year, so they need to get pressure. I'd like to see 1 or 2 sacks from my man Quinnen Williams today. Excuse me. But I want to see Tua pressured this whole game. But I mean, missed tackles has been a problem for the Jets for the last couple of years, and they got to just start wrapping up. We'll see how it does on offense. Our weapons on the outside aren't very tantalizing, minus Garrett Wilson. But I want Tua on his butt a lot. Which we haven't seen much of a quarterback this year.
There you go. From a Jets perspective, a Jets keys to victory. So there you go, Sean. Sean says, yeah, it's 19 missed tackles for the Jets. Joke of the league. Watch Tua dink and dunk for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. There you go. Sammy, your keys to victory for the Dolphins, sir.
Let me get my glasses because I did my do that yesterday. Let me get my glasses. All right. Let's see what I said. I had here basically, of course, Tua decision making, because Tua, the last couple of games, the defeats, that late interception with the game in hand, the decision maker for Tua has to be get better. Well, we haven't seen the explosive plays on the offense. Tyreek Hill had a nice couple of catches last week, and so did Waddle, but they had to find a way to get the explosive plays. They had to win on 3rd down, because 3rd down is usually key. You cannot get into those 3rd and 10, or even with a penalty, 7 or 12. They had to find a way to run the ball and to get close on 3rd down. You cannot stop Justin Fields. You can only hope to contain him, like that Patrick used to say, because he ran for, like Evan said before, 178 yards at a record for rushing for a quarterback. So they had to find a way to. I felt very confident the Dolphins winning this game, but with Justin Fields, I'm not as confident. They had to stop the run from Justin Fields and the running backs, and they had to get a turnover, because it's a battle of teams that had not make a turnover all season. So basically, the one who makes a turnover probably wins. So you better get a turnover tonight.
Evan.
Contain Justin Fields and Braylon Allen and Breece Hall, but you cannot let Justin Fields get outside the pocket. He will torch this defense. He will be an embarrassment. Talk about tackling. This team, the Jets are bad at tackling. The Dolphins are even worse. Tua cannot turn the ball over. I don't care that he can't get to his last read. The guy has to. I don't care if you need to check it down to 8-channel all game. Do what you need to do, but do not let Tua make the final decisions. And I'm telling you, time management from Mike McDaniel. Like, if the guy burns one more timeout, 3 games in a row when they needed a timeout, he burned it. This is Mike McDaniel's biggest game of his career. Everyone talked about in the Buffalo game how he called a good game until he didn't. Mike McDaniel has to call a 60-minute flawless football game. No screw up and timeout. His job is on the line in my mind tonight. He loses this football game. Doesn't matter what he does. He will burn. He might as well rip up his CV, because no one's hiring this goof anytime soon if he blows this. If he loses, and just a point, Tua's 5-0 against the Jets with a 73% completion percentage, phenomenal stats. But we were supposed to beat the Colts. He never lost to the Patriots ever, and now last week against the Bills, it's the second or third time in a row where he's had the ball in his hands, potentially I tie or win the football game, and he crapped the bet again. Mike McDaniel has to call a flawless football game. In the end, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't stop Justin Fields, even if Tua makes a mistake, Mike McDaniel has to be able to overcome that and be able to call the right game. If he, for example, on first down, Tua should not be throwing the ball. Give the ball to Ellie Gordon. Give the ball to Devon Achane. Give the ball to Malik Washington. I don't want to see any passes on first down. Zero, nada, zilch. Run the football. That's what he has to do all game, and they have a chance to win the football game.
There you go. I think you guys hit the nails on the head. First off, absolutely contain Justin Fields. It's going to be a very tough, tall glass to drink. When it comes to that, because they haven't not been able to stop the athletic rushing quarterback. I mean, look what they did. Look how they made Daniel Jones look. Look how they did the following week with Drake May. They have to make Justin Fields looks like the quarterback he has looked in the past before, and look mid to low tier. But they have to contain him. Another thing is, I heard the talk. There was a lot of talk this week. We've seen a lot of talk before from this Dolphins team. We heard a lot of talk from Anthony Weaver. Now it's time to walk. I want to see some physicality on that defense. Make some plays. Make them hurt. Let's see something that we haven't seen before in this Dolphins defense this season so far. And then obviously limit the mistakes. Do not turn over the ball. Protect the football. Tua has 5 touchdowns, 4 INTs, and 1 fumble this season. I mean, that's 5 turnovers. Protect the ball. 6 turnovers.
No, he has 5, but the one that got called back, but he's really thrown.
Okay. I had it right. Don't do that. Anyway, 5 turnovers. 5 okay, all right. But it got called back.
That was an awful throw. That was his worst interception, the one that got called back.
There you go. All right. Now, to wrap us up, let's get our predictions in. And before we get to the guys, we got a special guest who's been hovering around here ready to give his game prediction.
Do the other game first? Did we do the other game first?
What other game? The Broncos?
The Bengals and the Broncos. We should do that.
You could do that if you want to do that, I guess. I mean, we're kind of talking Dolphins. And
we always do that at the end of the show.
I know, but it's already over. Do we want to do that? I mean,
yeah.
If you want. All right, very quick. Evan, who do you have? Broncos or Bengals? Sorry, guest. 1 second, please.
Mile High Broncos.
Who do you got?
Surtain, one of the best quarterback in the NFL. Even Russ agrees that it's not Sauce Gardner. Will contain Jamar Chase. And Jake Browning will throw a couple picks again.
There you go. Russ.
Broncos.
Oh, you see. Okay, take a note. That's how it's done. No, I'm just like.
And Jake, that defense too good. They do a good job of shutting down the number 1 receiver that with Pat Surtain. So I just don't see Jake Browning be able to get it done. No.
I got the Broncos as well. Sammy.
I had the Broncos. Joe Burrow still not playing, right? So there's no win. So the Broncos winning.
3 months.
There you go. All right. Now, okay, come on. Okay, who do you got? Broncos or Bengals? Who do you got?
Broncos.
Okay, so we got that. All right. Stand still like a rock there. There you go. All right, guys. So as you all know, this is Junior Fins talk right here. This is Tristan over here, my boy. Actually, if he was a part of the Pick'em League, I think he might be in the top 5, Sammy. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. We've had him on pregame, and I've been following his picks. And he's been
let's tell you what. How old is he going to be by next year? How old are you going to be for next year?
How old are you next year, Tristan? How old are you right now?
I'm 8.
You're 8. You'll be 9.
On May 22nd, I'm going to be 9.
There you go.
I'll make an exception of you next year.
There you go. He says next year you'll be in the Fins TV Pick'em League with everyone else, with all the big Dolphin fans. You're going to be a part of it. Okay. All right. There you go. He's ready. Look, he tells me, I was like, Dad, can you go check my picks? I'm like, dude, I didn't keep track of your picks, but then he'll tell me I picked this team and we'll look at it's like 40-2. Like, I'm like, what the hell? So he's been on fire. But okay. All right. Dolphins versus the Jets tonight. Both teams, Tristan, 0-3. All right. Mike McDaniel still the coach. Tua still the quarterback. The Jets have Justin Fields as their quarterback.
I know.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. All right. Yeah, sorry.
I think the Dolphins are going to overtime at least.
Needs to be a game in overtime. All right, what's the
And
score?
the Dolphins win 23-17. Dolphins.
Ooh,
23-17 Dolphins.
there you go. Okay. All right, 23-17 overtime win for the Miami Dolphins. Russ, you're the Jets fan. What do you say?
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. Hey, Tristan, how's it going, buddy?
He said, "Hi, Tristan."
Man, don't say
Hey.
it.
Knowing my record with it'll go against me. I'm gonna give it to you guys. So I'm gonna say 27-24 Dolphins. I usually don't have a good record picking, so throwing it to you. So I'm kind of trying to play reverse psychology right now.
There you go.
Sammy, could I plead the fifth?
No, you got to make it big. You got to make it big. But, okay, so what's the score? You have it what?
I got 27-24 Dolphins.
Okay, 27-24 Dolphins. Tristan has it 23-17.
Think it could
Go ahead.
It could go either way. It's gonna be
Absolutely, 100%. All right, Sammy.
It's in Miami, so that's one thing they got going for.
I felt pretty good about this game until Justin Fields is now his starter quarterback. But I'm gonna stick with what I said, and I'm gonna say Dolphins 23, Jets 20.
23-20 Dolphins for Sammy. Evan, do you want me to go and then you go? Because do you have a difference? Are you going to break it?
I'm going to go. I'll go.
Go. You go. Go ahead.
Unfortunately,
Jesus.
Mike McDaniel will not call a fall. We'll call a good game till the fourth quarter, and then he will put the trust in his quarterback again. And to make to Russ smile, Jamin Sherwood will get the first turnover. Another linebacker that he doesn't see coming out of nowhere when he tries to maybe throw the ball to Darren Waller, and the Dolphins will lose 24-23.
I will say a big loss right now in the Jets defense. So Quincy Williams is on the IR.
Sherwood's having a good year.
Sure, no, but we lost Quincy Williams on the IR.
Stay like that.
That's a really big loss. He's big.
24-23 Jets.
Tristan's disappointed in you. He turned his back on you.
What would you like me to do? I have to stay consistent.
He wants him fired, So
I want him fired. As much as I wanted to win, he is a buffoon. I can't stop myself. Sammy won't stand up. I'll stand up.
Over there. So, Tristan actually, he's pretty close. I have it 24. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think this is a cakewalk at all for the Miami Dolphins. This is going to be I think, I want to feel really good. I do feel good about this game because it's Monday Night Football. I know the family is there. That's where the good comes in. It's a good experience. In regard to that, I don't feel comfortable with making this decision because I did for a while. My son got mad at me because when I was doing this week's pick'ems, I did at first pick the Jets. I can't see it. I just don't want to see it. I just don't feel it. This team doesn't have any life, but then you hear the talk and you see it's in Miami. You hear what Reaver's saying. You're like, well, maybe, just maybe. Something has to give here. So I'm going to let them fool me again tonight. And I'm going to go Miami 24-17 to win tonight to get their first victory. And maybe Russ has it right. Maybe it's reverse psychiatry. Maybe I should pick the Jets to win just so the Dolphins could win. But I'll let them fool me one more time and roll with the Dolphins. John Green says 23-21 Miami. Excuse me. Sean says it will be a 7-point win. He says, I could see that. Another heartbreaker for the Jets, Sean says. Jets fan in the house. Broncos by 7. That's for the Broncos games later. New York Jets fan says, Florida says Broncos find a way to lose. That's a tough one. 31-22. Sean Sharp, been a fan for the Jets. Been a fan for 36 years. Just sick of this crap. Jets lose 31-22. So there you go. Adrian of the Rainy Day Pod in the house. Great to see you as always, my brother. So, guys, it is almost about game time, prime time. So we will get this ball rolling. any final words? We'll go around the crew. We'll go first with the Jets fan. Russ, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Final thoughts? No final thoughts. I'm just ready to watch this game. Maybe Justin Fields has like 185 rushing yards today, a couple TDs.
There you go. Adrian says a 2020 tie. That's what he says tonight's prediction. Sammy, you better get in on him on that if he's on your
I'll
show.
do it tomorrow on Fins TV. I promise.
There you go. Good. Hunter says primetime Tua, 28-17 Jets. That's
I doing that.
I love that. I
love
think that's
Hunter.
that was really
Hunter's
good.
my boy. Hunter's my
there
boy.
you go. All right, Sammy, any final thoughts, sir, before we wrap this one and plug tomorrow's show, sir?
Well, the final thought is that I'm watching ESPN right now, and the uniforms look blue. That's kind of, I thought it was kind of funny because they look kind of blue on my TV right now. So I don't know what to tell you. Tomorrow on Fins TV, we're gonna talk win or lose tonight. Basically, the season is not the way many fans are hoping. The rebuild. It's been a disappointment. A lot of broken dreams for Dolphins fans. So we're gonna be talking about all disappointment tomorrow night. We're gonna lose on Fins TV at 8. You can find us on social media, but especially on Fins TV.
Back at you. I'll keep it G-rated on here after the Dolphins.
There you go. Evan, final thoughts.
If anyone thinks that even a Dolphins victory tonight is cause for celebration for this franchise, how low have we reached that we're at that we beat the Jets to go to 1-3? How exciting is that? Like,
but for the record, we lost 5 consecutive games, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be celebrating a win. We haven't won a game this year.
It's like that movie Little Giants where they got their first down and everyone started clapping. They got first down. So,
yeah, but it is what it is.
I'll just win, baby. Just win.
Just win.
Who's
everything? But
everything's
in the by the way, everything is in the air for Dolphins win. New uniforms, beautiful night, a Tua homer in Don Orlovsky on the call. Louis Riddick is there, potential future candidate for GM, or executive. Everything's on the clock. Everything. But that's what happens, Dolphin fans. Everything looks perfect until Mike McDaniel calls a football game, and it all goes to bleep.
Sorry, Bobby, that can't be the last word. Have you seen that movie, Unnecessary Roughness, when they win the game and the guy in the booth is like, on Fins Baseball post-game show? I'll be like,
let me ask you something. Bobby, what would be worse? Let me ask you before we go.
Uh-oh.
What's more? Dolphins winning and seeing Jason Taylor, who's an honorary captain, in a Jets jersey tonight, or the Dolphins losing and not seeing him in a Jets jersey?
Mason Taylor?
No, Jason Taylor's at the game tonight. He's an honorary captain with Zach Thomas tonight. So can you imagine at one point you see Jason Taylor in a Jets jersey?
I hope not. That's terrible. That would be disgusting.
Would you take that and a Dolphins win, or would you take a Dolphins loss and not seeing that?
I'd take a Dolphins win any day of the week.
And seeing him in that jersey?
I could close my eyes.
Could you imagine, though, that Mason Taylor catches a touchdown, and the first thing they're going to do, they're going to go look at Jason Taylor, and can you imagine the clap, the booing in the stadium?
It is what it is.
How about over under? Who has more receptions today, Mason Taylor or Darren Waller?
That's easy.
Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
He might forget he's there. Tua, the biggest guy on the field. I can't see him. I will
say a little Jets note.
There you go, Eddie. Eddie.
The Eagles haven't lost to an AFC team since they lost the Super Bowl. Who's the only team who beat the Eagles in those 2 years? The New York Jets and Zach Wilson.
Eddie, since you're watching, I can't make the pregame show on Sunday, so you better put your shoes on and do the pregame show with Evan next week for me. But that's settled. Eddie, you have to be there.
I might not be able to make it either because I'm going to be I'm in Indianapolis. So I'm traveling next week. So I'll be in my brother Nick is in Indianapolis right now. He's been there and he's performing as Elvis in Heartbreak Hotel. So I'm going to be me and Tristan are making a road trip. and we'll be seeing him on Sunday. So I may try to do pregame because it's earlier in the day, depending on what we're looking at. But I know postgame for sure. I'll probably be offline because I'll be at his performance at night. So, but we'll get there when we get there. But we'll still be live, and we'll be live immediately after the game here on FTSN. Finstanza and myself. Finstanza may be a little late depending on the situation, but we will be live just to react to the game, depending on how long. We'll see who goes. Alex may join us. He told me yesterday he may join us. I said, you're going to join us only if we win. He goes, no. I'll just let you know for sure if I'm sleeping or not. I'm like, yeah, you're going to let me know when you're sleeping. But anyway.
But Bobby, at least if Alex joins and they win, there'll be a really happy fan, and if they lose, there'll still be a happy fan. So either way, if we want to,
it's perfect. It works great. There you go. All right, guys, we appreciate you all. Go enjoy Dolphins versus Jets Monday Night Football on primetime. Like and subscribe. Screw the Jets, and most importantly, Dolphin fans, fins up.
Jets.